It is Wednesday evening once again, and that means it's time for another Auburn Family Night. This is our weekly call-in show where you take the stage, you being the Auburn family. This is all about your comments, your questions, and of course, your calls. All that's coming up right now. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. War Eagle, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, your Auburn Family Night. We appreciate you joining us, hanging out with us, spending some time being part of our little family within the Auburn family. As is typically the case, we love to get together on Wednesday nights to hang out with you and talk about what's on your mind, what's on your hearts, what's on your souls. For some of you, this week has been a little bit of therapy and a little bit of trying to understand what is going on with some of your Auburn programs right now. But no matter what you want to talk about, when you want to talk about it, we're here for you. So let's get into it tonight and jump into that. You can start the stream off for us in a great way by making sure that you smash the like button. It doesn't matter if you're on Facebook, YouTube. It's a huge help to do that for us. Lets people know this is worth watching. And even if you don't like it, maybe just do it. You know, I don't know. You can also hit the share button, all those good things, share it out, and then let people know that they need to be part of our little family within the Auburn family. Always let us know that you're watching by checking in with us, especially on the live portion. If you're watching on the replay, we appreciate you checking in that way. Obviously, we won't be able to interact a ton with you that outside of just addressing any comments you have in the comments section, but we're here today to talk about anything orange and blue. The Auburn experience. What is the Auburn experience? It is all about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. Even more simply put, it is if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. So that is what we're going to get into tonight. So do not be shy, do not be hesitant, do not be troubled, but jump into the chat. Let us know what you want to talk about tonight. You can go ahead and start dropping in comments and questions right now. I can set the table for you, but also let you know that you can call in tonight on the show. That is available to anybody watching specifically, well, anywhere, but you'd have to come to YouTube to take advantage of that. That's brought to you by our friends at allthingsauburn.net. They bring you a great place, not just to stay in Auburn, but to have a great and complete Auburn experience when you are visiting the Loveless Village on the Plains. So visit them at allthingsauburn.net. I couldn't get it out, when I tried to do that last part there. So you hit the link. You can be on camera, off camera. It really just depends on what your preference is, what you prefer in terms of if you want to show your face or not. Some people, it's a little bit weird. I get that, but don't be shy tonight. A lot of you take advantage of that, and we'd love to see some new faces or hear some new voices tonight. I want to give a shout out to Jay, Stan, Ethan, Thomas, all checking in early via the chat box with us early. So thank you so much for doing that. We'll jump in and say hello to a bunch of you here, and 313 as well. I missed you, buddy. Sorry about that. I was slipped right over that. I was saying all the people with human names, and then 313 went right past me there at the end. Stan starts us off tonight by saying, Kyle, we have problems. Talk about it. We have problems. And he clarifies, I'm talking football. We all got problems, but there's a phrase there I'm not going to use. We all got problems. I'll just leave it at that. Look, this has been a week of, I wouldn't say unheard of, because we've been here before. We've done this dance before, and you think people would catch on to it, that it's now time to learn to do something different, to accept things. And I think when I make that statement, you're going to hear a lot of people almost, you can feel them in the back of their neck standing up on end, and any other reaction that when I say accept it, that doesn't mean accept the losses and where we're at as a football team. What I do mean is accepting where we find ourselves and understanding the context of why we find ourselves here. I think that helps you process this, rationalize these things in a much more productive manner, because it has been frustrating. It's been a frustrating year for Auburn football already. It's been a frustrating last few years. We get it. We'll dive into it, I'm sure, a lot as we go throughout the show tonight. A couple other things, though. Auburn basketball officially starts practice today. How about that? Threw me off. I got the media update for it, but it threw me off that we're starting this early. Coach Bruce Pearl talked about that a lot today. We have the press conference out there available for you about how they moved it up this year when they could start officially practicing in the preseason. So that's a cool thing today. If you're interested in that, I would highly recommend that you all go watch that press conference. I would prefer you watch it on our format where we provide it for you, but just wherever you can get it, I want you to go watch, and I want you to listen to Coach Bruce Pearl. You should do it to all the coaches and not just make assumptions about things that you saw online. Anybody listening? But I thought it was a very informative, very honest, very open discussion that he had in his press conference, whether it was a prompted question or not, about some topics for Auburn basketball that are going to be big topics for this year, positional wise, who's going to be utilized where, but also the state of college basketball. So highly recommend that you go check out Bruce Pearl's press conference. We have provided that for you on YouTube and Facebook, and you can, even if you can't find it where our stuff is, it's out there. So please do go check that out. Do yourself a favor. Plenty of other great things going on in the Auburn space. We can recap some stuff from last week with Barstool being here and the new band performance, all that stuff. But I know where most of the focus is going to be tonight. Let's see here. Let me go back and look at some of these comments, see if there's anything worthy of bringing up here. Auburn usually goes up and down, but usually it's a year or two. Well, this still would be a year or two under Freeze, but when you count the Harsin years, that makes it seem a little bit longer, doesn't it? It is a little bit longer. Andrew asked, do we have more than 2 quarterbacks? We need a new quarterback coach. Andrew, I'm going to ask you to not be part of this group that pushes this narrative every single time we face adversity. I want to look you right here, virtually in the eyes, and tell you the answer to problems is not to get rid of someone. Not always. Now, sometimes it is 100%. There can be opportunities where that improve, but this is the first year under new Kent Austin. We got rid of the quarterback coach last year. They claimed that was the problem. So clearly that's not the problem. So please do yourself a favor. Growing as an Auburn fan, Andrew, and I say this with all the love that I can in my heart for you, to learn to, if you got an issue with that, to make the case a little bit better. There is no need right now to change a quarterback coach. Now, if we get to the end of the year, we can certainly have that conversation a little bit more thoroughly, but no, in no way. And you're asking, do we have more than 2 quarterbacks? We absolutely do. So if they're not playing, that should tell you something about whether they're ready or not. Because trust me, they would put them out there if it would. See some conversation about Deuce Night. I think most of you have understand where I stand on most of the commentary about high school recruiting. I know it's a very important part of it. We talk about it here when they commit. I'm not concerned about people who have not committed yet, and I would encourage you to do the same. 313 says this is going to be a fun year in college basketball. I would agree. Every year in college basketball is extremely fun because it's college basketball. But I would say if you're an Auburn fan, you have so much to look forward to this year. And that is not me saying, hey, we're about to win a national championship or make a Final Four run. That is just me saying, think about the quality of the schedule in terms of opponents that you're about to participate in. Purdue, Duke, the Maui Invitational with everyone that is there, Ohio State and Atlanta, Houston, and then we can keep going on and on there. And then the SEC schedule. Folks, it's going to be a fun year in basketball. 313 said it best here. Stan asked the question is going to instigate a lot of things. Do I miss Gus? You know my stance on that, of course. Let's see here. Unbeaten Lake says, hate that the game isn't as big as it should be. Both offenses have big problems. The game is still big. Now, what you probably mean is on as a national stage, but to us and to Oklahoma fans, this is a big moment. This is historic. It doesn't matter the implications around it. This is the first time the Oklahoma Sooners are coming to Jordan-Hare Stadium, to Auburn, Alabama. This is going to be a great weekend. The weather is going to be a little problem at the early onset of it. It's literally going to dampen things on the Friday. It looks like it'll be gone by Saturday. I think some other weather is supposed to pop back up Sunday. But this is a big weekend, no matter how you slice it and no matter the context around it. Neil says, I'm scared of the hurricane. Kyle, hold me. Well, I'm not anywhere near you, Neil, right now. I'm in a different location. I guess you could start calling this like we broadcast from, I guess, 4 different locations now. The E2C Network Studios. This would be like Studio Do 2. It is literally just another room somewhere where I often go to stay when I'm visiting family that I can broadcast from. That's not, in anybody's way. So there's that. We also broadcast from the mobile broadcast studio, aka the back seat of my car. And then we broadcast from campus this last weekend, if y'all didn't see that, from one of the lawns there, which was a pretty cool day. So Neil, I'm sorry that I can't be there with you to comfort you in your time with me, but in all seriousness, if you are in the line of this hurricane, I don't even care if you're not near the coast, please take it seriously. Please do protect yourself, prepare yourself, all that stuff. I thankfully am going to be what appears to be on the weaker side of the hurricane, the west side at this moment, and Auburn will be as well, although they're going to get, looks like, a ton of rain. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And I'm thankful it's at this point not going to affect us too much for game day. Tons of effect going to be out there for people, as it always does. Neil says, Kyle, I rewatched that Archie game. If the quarterback stopped throwing interceptions, Auburn would be undefeated. It's hard to disagree with that. I'd add to that, if we don't fumble and if we get off the field in 3rd and Auburn, just another way of saying third and long, we are probably undefeated, as most of us predicted to. It's simple things: tackling, blocking, those, and taking care of the football. Those are the things that win football games. It's kind of an interesting concept here. WT says, what I will say about chasing stars and recruiting: hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. It's a great way of thinking about it, and I feel like you're quoting somebody that should be credited there. But it's a great way to think about it, no matter what. Let's see here. Oklahoma fans are really nice. Neil, are you being facetious? Are you being for real? I have not had terrible run-ins with Oklahoma fans, but the ones I have run into, it's been very mixed bag. I wouldn't call that, a great representation of them, but I'm excited to have them here regardless. Anytime someone comes to get to experience Auburn for the first time, that gets me jammed up jelly tight. Let's see here. I've noticed that we fumbled in the most critical situations. I'd have to go back and look and see if the fumbles did happen in the most critical, because to me, the most critical would be this is your last gasp, and I don't think that's happened, but they have occurred. Let's take last game as an example. Literally about to go into the end zone. And if you go, I can't remember what the score was at that point in the game, but I feel like at worst it was 7-0. Maybe we're actually about to take the lead there. I can't remember. But even if you just tie it, that drastically changes this game, where you're not running for your life the entire time, trying to scramble to get back up to being tied again late in the game. So yes, critical moments, but I would more so talk about that in, like, if it's a critical moment at the end of the game or something, like that. Okay, so Neil is being real. He says, I know many Okie fans and they are very down to earth. I will say, in talking about Oklahoma, and this is my outside perspective opinion, I have no legitimate proof to say this other than observing from afar. I do feel that what we have in the Tennessee, Texas and Oklahoma situation coming into the SEC is very similar to an Auburn and an Alabama rivalry. You have got a rivalry where there is someone that historically is probably the greater of the two, and at least talk about financial and all that kind of stuff. They've got Texas versus Oklahoma. I mean, that kind of says itself right there. So it does feel like there's a little bit of that element where Texas would be more like your Alabama, Auburn would be more like your Oklahoma. Is that the reality? I don't know. That's from me outside looking in. but I could see where there would be some similarities there. We were down 7-0. So there's your clarification on that. So you go up, you tie. If he doesn't fumble there, much different story in terms of what the energy is, what the franticness is, what your play calling is, changes the whole dynamic of it. Let's see here. I'll allow it. It's not Auburn. It's very minor Auburn related since Malik was here. Pretty awesome that Malik Willis is now the starting quarterback for Green Bay, and they're 2-0. It's amazing what good coaches can do for a player. Oh, you mean like Hugh Freeze? No, I am happy for him regardless. Obviously, not super Auburn related since he left us, and he's talked very openly about that, how he felt like it was probably a good thing for him. And also, I don't think he said it was good for Auburn, but he kind of implied that. And he talked about how he had a lot of growing up to do. And I thought that was a very mature statement that he made about that, because a lot of people like to point to that and go, we should have played Malik Willis. We should have played Malik Willis. He openly admits, I probably wasn't ready to take on that responsibility. I had some growing up to do. And look at him now. So a little bit of a juxtaposition over there. Ethan says, do you think that Cadillac made a difference at helping with running backs when he was on the coaching staff helping Freeze? It seems like our running backs are different this year without him. What do you think? I think we're all looking for answers, and I think we will look for anything that seems to be a correlation. So it is on the surface, nothing wrong with looking at, hey, running backs are struggling and holding the ball this year. Cadillac left. Surely that means that's related. I would disagree with you. I think that is a very convenient correlation to make. I can understand how it looks that way. Ball security is taught the exact same way, essentially, by every coaching staff out there. Sometimes it just isn't your lucky day, but it shouldn't be happening at the rate it should have. I would highly encourage you not to give that a train of thought. There's always the chance I could be wrong on that. But I understand the need right now to find reasonings behind this, because some of it doesn't make sense. We got upperclassmen dropping the ball as a running back when they should not be doing so. And even if he was the difference in that, sometimes situations require changes to be made. And that is all I will expound on that at this time. Let's see here. Texas is not the Alabama because Texas doesn't have many championships. Oklahoma has 8, I think. And I figured you're going to bring that up, Neil. Like literally, Neil, when I said that statement, I was like, Neil's going to try to check me on this. I get what you're saying. Championships aren't everything. I think there is more of a little brother mentality. Kind of, that's what Alabama would say about this dynamic with Oklahoma to Texas. It's more of a how you carry yourself than a reality thing. Either way, I think Oklahoma and Auburn have more aligned together than Auburn and Texas would. The main thing being that they have orange in their colors. Let's see here. Tanya, War Eagle, thank you for checking in with us on Facebook. WT says correlation is not causation. Just because Caddy is not here and we are having problems holding onto the ball does not mean they're related. That's a great way of saying it. I just should shut up and let him do it, because I should have just found a way to say what he just brilliantly laid out for you there. It's a great way to think about that. Correlation is not causation. It's also not bad to ask the question, okay? Like, and I don't want Ethan to walk away from this feeling like we're telling you you're stupid for asking the question. We're simply trying to help you think better about it, because we are searching for answers, right? Why some of these things are happening. And that could be correlated, but it just doesn't track, or at least I don't feel like it is. It tracks as much. Ethan says, do you know the color theme of this game? Apparently it's orange again. So we've done white, we've done orange, we've done blue, we've done power stripe. You know what? Since you're asking, let me see if I can look it up. Auburn fan. Let's see if we can do the fan colors chart or schedule and see if we can get the full thing for you. We did this on a previous podcast of the Auburn Experience, but let's talk about it right now. All right, here you go. So here's the remainder of what you are supposed to wear as Auburn fans at home games. Orange for Oklahoma. We are striping it out, which I would think that means half orange, or I guess you're going to have your sections to make the stripes, orange and blue. And then we will have navy for the final two for Lamo and for Texas A&M. You see that a lot with, trying to make sure it contrasts better with who you're playing and things like that. So that's what your schedule is thus far. David says that Oklahoma's defense is better than I thought. I didn't, I'll be honest with you. I haven't really looked at Oklahoma a ton other than watching their game versus Tennessee when I got home from game day at Auburn finally and still being very, very sick. So I was able to retain some of what I watched. I think Tennessee is just much better than Oklahoma, but I don't think Oklahoma is a bad team at all. I think they're going to be quite challenging to pull off a victory here in Jordan-Hare. I do think that we will play better. I just don't know from what I've seen at this point that I can confidently, as I'm sitting here today on a Wednesday, predict a win. Now, we got our score prediction show tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. Let's see. I'll wear whatever color I want to wear to the game. No one tells me what to wear except my wife. Well, at least somebody tells you what to wear, because I bet you need a little bit of help, just like we all do as males. Look, I do like the color things, and I'm very pleased with what was pulled off by the power stripe. I think in a year where you're having much more success, this is actually bought in a little bit more, and people get more excited about that. I did like when we did the upper deck was one color and the lower deck was one color. It doesn't show up as much, but I think it's easy to pull off, right? I think that's just, I go for what's easy to pull off. And one color is obviously the easiest there. The defense is legit. Yeah, from what I've seen, I would, when I said I don't know much about them, I know Oklahoma traditionally is going to have a okay defense. You see what I did there? But also it's Brent Venables, right? Brent Venables is a defensive coordinator by trade. So he's going to be a defensive-minded guy. So you would think, if so facto, they're going to be better defensively than they would be offensively. Changing quarterbacks for them could be raise some questions. This is going to be a challenge for sure. Suggestion for the prediction show tomorrow: score at the half and at the end instead of just the end. Just a thought. My initial reaction to that suggestion is probably a no, but not because it's a bad idea. I think you guys have a different perspective of how that show flows than I do as the person running it. And what I've discovered is that if you do certain things, it loses a lot of traction going down the line, or people lose their focus. It's not a bad suggestion. I just don't know how well that works. How about this? For now, that'll be a no, but you never know. We might incorporate it. Tanya says, going into both games we lost, I felt like we were going to lose. However, this week I feel like we're going to win. Well, there you go. That's all we need to know right there, right? Tanya's got the feeling. I love it. I would much rather you go into the game having optimism, even if it's blind optimism, and be that type of fan than the other type of fan that we've been dealing with this week. By the way, I'm going to say this, and not that we are big enough to have this go to them or anything like that. You don't have to search far to find which media members love to push the negativity narrative, and then they'll be the first ones to write articles about, let's get this straight, there is no toxic nature in the Auburn fan base. There is a toxic nature in every fan base, no matter what you do. It's just there, and it comes out in moments like this. So just be wise with who you're listening to and who you're getting information from and things like that. Okay. Still see a lot of comments, but we got our first caller ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and bring them in tonight and get to talk to them. So keep your comments and questions coming, and we will certainly get back to those in a little bit. But let's go ahead and say hello to one of our favorites here. He's been here for a while.
War Eagles, everybody.
We got like a little, I don't know if you can see it. It's like almost like a TV screen striation across you.
Yeah, I got a cheap computer, man.
I didn't know if it was you or me. That's why I brought it up, because I am in a different location and who knows what's going on here tonight.
Oh, it's more than likely always me, lighting, electronics. It just ain't my thing.
Listen, you think it's my thing? I pulled, like, what is it called? Just fake it till you make it type of thing. Go back and look at old shows and you can see how fuzzy and like unorganized everything looked. Not that it's organized now, but anyway, what's on your mind tonight?
Hey, football.
Yeah. Hey, let me just start with you. I know you probably got some things you want to talk about, but we're going to talk offensive line with you. I've been asked this. I was asked this morning on the TikTok stream, and I think you're very aware. I've been and I try to be constructive, but critical of the offensive line play over the last several years. No shock there. Am I seeing things correctly to feel like it is maybe trending a little bit better than it has previously thus far through 4 games? That question makes sense?
It makes perfect sense.
What do you think?
I think it's getting better.
Okay.
I don't think it's where it needs to be at all, though.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Hang on. Like, let me try not to use any cuss words. Look.
Appreciate that.
they are getting better. They
Yeah.
really are. But I don't think that the bodies we have on campus are fitting specifically the run blocking scheme.
Yeah.
I think the pass blocking looks pretty dadgum good, but I don't think the run blocking is where it needs to be. I don't see feet moving fast enough to get to where they need to be. And if you go back and watch a couple of our games and you watch a run blocking play now, and granted, we're averaging the most yards of carry in the SEC right now.
Right.
Which I will ask the question: why are we not running the dadgum ball?
Run the dang ball. It's the movie.
Why
right?
are we not sticking it right in somebody's jaw and dragging them along with us? Because we got the guys to do it. War Eagle Justin, that's my buddy right there. Why are we not running the dadgum football? But if you go back and watch the games, watch their first couple of steps, those feet are so slow to me. In my opinion, those feet are slow. And then that gives the defensive line an opportunity to put a hand on one man, a hand on the other man, and they're shooting gaps and they're getting our guys. But we're still averaging a really good yards per carry. So it's really hard to gauge it at this point.
Is it the running backs masking the offensive line play more so this year, or is it just maybe the collection together, the teamwork is making it kind of work?
It takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
So I think it's everybody.
Okay. So let me be more direct with my question and see if because you did answer it, but I want to get a specific response from you of what your thought is. Let's take the first 4 games last year, and I know that's a while back, but do you feel like we are progressing better as an offensive line the first 4 games last year compared to this year?
That's a hard question to answer right
it
now.
Is.
Off the cuff, I'm going to say it's about dead even.
Okay.
Because we have some different personnel on the offensive line, but right now I would say it's even. But I got all the faith in the world in my Auburn Tigers.
Right.
That they can move this thing along.
Right.
That we can get a little bit better. That we can continue to average the best yards per carry in the SEC. But we've got to make it. We got to do it more often, in my opinion. I'm not the coach, therefore I don't make the decisions. But I'd love to see another 10 runs a game out of us right now.
So that's my inclination, is to say that it's basically the same. But I'm trying to really look at this because I have been so critical of offensive line over the last couple of years. Am I not giving them enough credit? Rightfully so. Like, now I'm not saying that's like they've been wrong to say that, but I am trying to look outside of what my typical stance, which I think has facts to back it up. And I kind of am starting to lean that we should be giving offensive line a little bit more credit so far. Not a ton, not acting like we're jumping through hoops here. We're back, baby. You know, we're so back, all the memes and stuff. But I'm really trying to look hard at my criticism of them and, start looking where the other problems that could be fixed are. And some of them are obvious. Hold on to the dang ball. Yeah, well, all right. What else you got? Come on. I know I just wanted to talk about that at least to start with.
How about them other problems? We don't have a look. I said last week Hank Brown could be the answer, and he wasn't in this Arkansas game. So, do we have a quarterback?
Well, we got
or is Hugh Freeze's system too hard to comprehend for these guys that are here now? I think it's a valid question, but is it too hard for them to understand, or can these guys that are on campus not get it done during the game? I don't have an answer for my questions.
Yeah,
and I would love to know an answer, but everybody can give an answer, but we don't know yet. Is it a quarterback problem, or is it a coaching problem? Because we've seen the press conferences, we've heard all this other stuff and this hullabaloo, so to speak. But what is our answer for winning games? We're averaging 3.5 turnovers per game through 4 games. That's 14 turnovers, according to the Google box over there. But I mean, that's what it is at the end of the day. But like 3.5 turnovers a game, you cannot win ball games if you give the other team the ball and opportunities to score. You're running clock. You're giving them field position. You're taking away points from your own team every single time you give it away. Yeah, there's no other way to see it. And I hate it. I hate it as much as everybody else in this video thing right now, and the rest of the Auburn family. I do. I hate it. But what are we going to do to get this fixed? Do we run the ball more? Do we try somebody else out at quarterback? Are we going to suffer through another 2 or 3 games before we get this thing nailed down? But we cannot give the ball away and win ball games. We can't. Our turnover differential is in the bottom of the whole shebang of the whole country of college football. We are awful at it. And you can say, well, if we'd have had 3 less, maybe we'd have won a game. Buddy, if we'd have had a turnover a game, tops, we'd be 4-0. But we're not.
Right.
And that's the running game has turned it over. The passing game has turned it over. And the defense has failed to convert on easy interceptions at least 3 times.
Yep. And, let's be fair across the board here. We've also had a fumble on punt returns, another one that was muffed, so I hate to say it because I don't think it's as simple as I'm making it sound, but I do think it may be as simple as that. Hold on to the dang ball. You might win some football games, I mean, what?
My God, I'll be John Brown. If you hold on the ball.
I think if we were having these problems, meaning poor quarterback, and it's poor quarterback play regardless of like throwing the ball away, to the other team. I love Bo Nick's statement. Did you see that, by the way, when he was asked about? Thomas, man. So he had his first 2 games were terrible. He had a really bad interception in the end zone at the end of the game. I think in his second game, reporter comes up and asks him and says, "Take us through the interception." He goes, "Yeah."
No, I'm sorry, I did see that. Yeah,
brought back through it to the team, and then just deadpan, just like. But he wasn't being rude. He just was like, "I mean, that's what I did. I mean, I threw it to the other team."
He answered honestly.
What do you want him to say other than like, he was probably asking like, "What did you see?" Things like. Anyway, all that to be said, I do think that we are all searching for answers in the wrong places for right now. I think there are some simple solutions that would have fixed all of this. Hang on to the dang ball. I think it was Justin Hokanson today that I don't know if he wrote an article or he just posted about it that said he went back and looked at some of these things and talked about just kind of, what changed in the moment of each of those fumbles, interceptions, and how that kind of, you're guessing, right? But how that could have changed it. I don't know, man. It seems really simple to me. And I think other people are just trying to find other areas to put blame. And there is other blame to go around. But anyway, Thomas, what are we doing well in your mind?
What are we doing well?
Besides running the ball, anything else?
The fan turnout,
Yeah.
The love and support for this team
Yeah.
is high as the Harsin era. It was high for about the first 3 weeks, but after that, it died out.
The Mississippi State game is where it died.
Man, I wasn't even there, but I could tell from the TV felt bad.
Yeah.
The TV felt bad.
I will never. I know the section I was standing in because it emptied out really quickly when we watched I think it was a 21-point lead dwindle, and just it was almost like you had a patient on a gurney, and you like refusing to stop the bleeding. Sorry to be graphic.
It was bad. It really was. But the fan turnout, the fan love, the fan support, the Auburn family is keeping what hope people have alive. And I've still got a lot of hope for this team this year.
Yeah.
It's only been 4 games. Yeah, we're going to lose some more. Yeah, we're going to.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it because if you really dig deep, do your research, and I still believe in Coach Freeze, and I fully admit that he deserves as much blame as any player on this team for these losses. Mm-hmm. Don't misconstrue what I'm about to tell you.
Right.
But that man walked into Auburn and said, it's going to be 2025 before we start winning ball games. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take him at his word. He's won everywhere he's ever been. Have there been mistakes made? Have former players called him out? I don't care. Bo Wallace, watch your CTE, buddy. It's running out your mouth. Like, calm down. Hey, look, I've had concussions. I understand what goes along with them.
Yeah. And
that man has some concussions. He was a big dude getting hit by big dudes. Bo Wallace, watch your mouth, son. I'll find you.
But listen. I got to talk about that some more because how do I say this? I feel like a reasonable person would have saw that and go, let me investigate a little bit more before I just jump in wholesale. What's even sadder is the people that still believe that narrative and haven't taken the time, because those people haven't, listened to other reporters. We reported it today because we were listening on the teleconference that he has talked to Bo today or whenever the last couple of days post. So obviously they talked about the issue. And I haven't looked at because I don't really care what Bo Wallace thinks, to be honest with you. So I haven't looked maybe if he said or anything after that point. But the man literally said in one of his defenses when he was getting flack for it, I lied when I was talking about how much I liked him. So we're supposed to believe you now? Like, you just admitted I was lying. How do we know you're not lying right now? I'm not mad at him as much as I am at Auburn people that took that as a reason to jump on board with that. And you're so much smarter than that as a Auburn family and so much better than that. And I always believe that people should have room to talk about things that they've been through, to express it, to share if there's really, truly an issue. But you always have to ask the question as someone listening, why is this coming out now? And is there a good reason for it? And what are the other things going on around this? And don't just buy in wholesale. Anyway, so I'm going down the road.
Do you feel the need to be relevant right now, or is this truthful?
Right.
That's what I would ask, because at the end of the day, it's social media. It ain't real life. Because I can guarantee you, if Bo Wallace and Hugh Freeze sat down and had a conversation in the office, it ain't going to look like that.
Yeah.
So we can just sweep that one on under the rug. That's a done deal.
Get rid of it. All right. Give me the one other than hold on to the football. What's the one thing Auburn football needs to do to close out our time to be successful against Oklahoma?
You play unified.
Okay.
The team may be unified, but they're not playing unified. There's some guys that when a bad play happens, they hang their head. And there's some guys that go over there and encourage the other player. Mm-hmm. So we need to see everybody getting over there and encouraging everybody, because the fans are not in a good spot, but the fans drive the team, but the team, they're not looking at us. That's okay. That's okay. They need to make sure that they got hand in a hand. They're unified, holding hands, walking out there ready to go to battle together, to go to play, because this is a big game coming up. And we have every intention of winning. So let's go win this ball game. Let's do
I
it.
love it. I love it.
Or do we fall apart? We don't know yet. We're going to watch Saturday and we're going to find out. But
We
there's
will.
nothing us as fans can ever do to sway the team one way or the other. I mean, realistically. So it's up to these young men, these scholarship athletes, and these walk-ons, and these men that have worked hard to play Auburn football the Auburn way. So let's go.
I hope y'all have got a wall somewhere by you that you can go run through after Coach Thomas just put us through the. He's got a wall behind him. We'll see if he runs through it before the end of it. But I say, hey man, if you run through that, then you have my respect because that's a big old brick wall back there. Hey Thomas, it's good to always talk to you, my friend. Always appreciate your perspectives.
War Eagle, y'all. Leeds Green Wave still undefeated this season, baby. Let's go. Let's get steak.
Little shout out. There you go. See you, man. All right, that was our first caller. We got another one lined up here in just a second. I think he's there. It looks a little bit dark. Kevin, it's Kevin on the line. If you can. Okay, I see him waving. All right, give me a second, Kevin. We'll get you in just a second. Love having Thomas here. Great perspectives from him as always. Let's see if there was anything. I know it's been a minute since we've talked from some of the y'all's perspectives here. I'm reminded of a Coach Tuberville telling everyone not to build up AU, that it was going to take another year. I'm not remembering exactly that moment or when he said that, but that does sound something like Tuberville would have said back then. Unbeaten Lake says, one thing I've seen that's made me upset with some fans, and I really hope they aren't fans, but seeing people tweeting recruits not to come to Auburn because of our current situation. Always keep in mind, too, that there are people that try to portray themselves as who they're not, to dissuade that, to dissuade recruits and stuff like that. Some of them actually might be, and because some of the behavior I've seen wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, that can be frustrating as well. All right, 2003. Okay, I don't remember exactly, but I'll take your word for it. All right, so let's get our next caller in here, and then we'll take some more questions. If you guys want to get in line as well to call, please do so. We'd love to hear some of your voices or see your faces. You can be on camera, off camera, but I think we'll be able to see some of them. Kevin, are you there?
Yeah.
It is dark, my friend. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Hey, if I was use freeze, I will start Sam Jackson at quarterback.
Now, why do you think that? Because he didn't work out at quarterback at Cal, and the Cal fans were very honest about their opinions about him and said that he was not. I think he got benched, and no shots at Sam. He's a much better quarterback than I would be, but I just don't know if that's going to work out for us, Kevin.
How about Walker White?
It would, I'm okay if he wants to throw someone else out there that hasn't played at quarterback like a Walker or a Holden. But my question to you would be this. They haven't been, it's not even really a question, but they haven't been able to beat out the other two yet. So that should tell you something about maybe they're not ready. Some people will make the argument that, well, what the heck, at this point, but
I think they should put Cam Coleman back there.
At quarterback?
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, I don't know. He's a talented guy. I don't know if he's that talented. Not many people can be, what's his name, Hunter, out at Colorado and play multiple ways. But maybe they'll let him throw like a flea flicker reverse pass one time.
Who do you think be the starting quarterback Saturday?
I think I started leaning towards Peyton today, but I don't really know because I'm reading off what coach is saying. There was some footage from practice yesterday where it seemed, and it's not 100% like he was taking the first team reps, but the media only gets to see. Go ahead.
We need to run the ball more.
I think that would make a lot of fans happy, and it does seem to make a lot of sense to do that more. The problem is if you become one-dimensional, then that's much even easier to stop. So I think that we definitely need to make sure we're taking advantage of what's working for us, maybe a little bit more, but we got to find a way to get this passing game going more consistently too.
Yeah, let our wide receivers catch it.
I agree. It kind of helps when they close their hands around the ball and don't let it skip past them and go into the hands of a defender. But I'm not a coach, so I think everybody would agree with that statement, though. What else is on your mind?
And And I think if our passing game will be real good Saturday, we can beat.
I think you broke up a little bit, but I think you said the passing game is better, that will win. I would 100% agree with that. You still there, Kevin? Kevin, we're losing you, buddy. I think you're driving around somewhere where you don't got connection. You still there?
I'm here.
Yeah, we're getting bad connection. You're coming in and out. Try one more time.
I'm
All right,
here.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. What you got?
I said our passing game will beat Oklahoma's.
I sure hope you're right. Well, since we got a bad connection tonight, let's round out our time. I always ask you, since you love to get, what's your score prediction for Auburn, Oklahoma?
35 Auburn, Oklahoma 21.
35-21. You heard it here first from Kevin. We know what to expect for the next game. Kevin, thank you for calling in, buddy, and hopefully we'll have a better connection next week. All right, that was our good friend Kevin. Thanks to him for calling in tonight, working through his connection issues, but we couldn't see him, but we could hear him when the connection was working. So let's get back to some comments and questions here about what you guys want to discuss and what you want to get into a little bit more here. Yeah, some of you, I knew as soon as I asked him for his score prediction, some of y'all were going to start dropping yours in. Save them for tomorrow night, folks. We're going to do our post or preview and prediction show. If you can't join us, I understand. You can go ahead and drop them now, but that's 7 Central, 8 Eastern tomorrow. Now, keep in mind, we are all wondering what's going to happen with this hurricane. I don't think it's going to cause too many problems for where I am. I understand some of you guys Neil is one of those is going to be in the direct path of it. Yeah, we plan to do it unless we just can't, right? That we're going to get, you see Mr. Booger right here. We're just going to be getting rid of him for forever, just because that is just a stupid statement whatsoever. That's how you know someone's unreasonable. So for those of you that saw that, I apologize. That was ridiculous. And as always a tip, let me handle those fools, and y'all just ignore them. They just want a response. Let's see here. Tomorrow night's gonna be crazy, Kyle. I might not have power. I'm kind of expecting you not to have power. My wife and my mother-in-law are still up there, and I live not super far. We don't know exactly where each other live, but we know we live in the vicinity of each other, me and Neil. So our area is going to get hit hard. Tanya asked, what area is it where SEC Nation will be set up? It is the Wellness Kitchen, which is that kitchen that is between that small parking deck for the athletic department and the parking lot for Beard Eves, Memorial Coliseum. There's that little ravine that kind of splits the parking lot and the Wellness Kitchen. It's always set up there. It's a great shot of the stadium. It's a very limited space area. So if you're wanting to be like in the crowd, like the crowd where you might be seen, you're going to want to get there super early. I will be there, or that's the plan, to be at some point, not to be super in the crowd, but to get some shots of what's going on. It's going to be a busy day on campus, game days. It's the last one of our 5-game homestands, so I plan to share a ton. I'll be doing probably warm-up practice for the band, SEC Nation. Excuse me, we're going to have Tiger Walk, all the good stuff. So stay tuned for that. Did we get another dust buster? No, it wasn't anything as bad as that. It was just somebody saying fire Hugh Freeze. Like that's just like, if that's and it's the first comment that you make when you come in, that tells me that you're not a reasonable adult either, or you're a child. And so we don't need any of that in here right now. Not that children can't hang out with us, as family friendly and all that, but it's not what it's intended for. I have a very low tolerance for, I have one phrase that one of my favorite shows has brought on more recently is, I have learned to stop being reasonable with unreasonable people and just dealing with them. And that's what we did with that individual. All right, let's see here. Close to where the fan day was. Yeah. Where you got in line. Yes. Yes. Very close to that. You do regret not buying the Dustbuster t-shirt. I would love to bring it back, but now that we figured out that it was Dustbuster, because that's a trademarked name, is who got us. And I don't know why I wouldn't have done it had I realized that. I guess I just thought it was a generic thing, not like their actual copyrighted name. But anyway, the only one in existence lies with WT, and he is gonna be, it's like a priceless heirloom. So we won't be able to do that ever again. I'm sorry, Thomas, and Justin obviously wants it too. I'm glad that that's what y'all want. Bring back the Buster. That's funny. Kyle, were you upset that they started charging for the locker room tour? Great question. Again, my default, or at least I try to be this default, is to see things from both sides. I think from a just fan perspective, of course, I'm upset that something that has been for such a long time now, so like a free thing that you can go do, is now a charge thing. It very much feels like it's just another way to make a buck and all that stuff. Here's the problem, though. People will pay for it. And if they will pay for it, why wouldn't they take advantage of it? So the only way to get them to stop doing this is to stop acting like the collective. Not, you may not be the problem. I may not be the problem. Stop paying for it. People want this. And that's what, and there could be other reasons as well. I've made no bones about that. We went in there all the time and did live streams. I'm 99% sure they were aware of that. And I'm sure they saw opportunities being missed there. So as a fan, I'm upset about it. But as a person who is trying to look at it from a business standpoint, you also have to remember that this university is trying to pay for a settlement that they're a part of with all of the NIL stuff, that litigation, that they got to start paying for things. And so I can understand and be upset about it all at the same time. Are you superstitious when it comes to games? I lost my AU hat in a move that I wore during 2010. I missed that hat. I used to have a bandana that I wore ever since college, and it was sweat, never been washed, gross as all get out. But I stopped wearing it when we didn't seem to be working all that much anymore. Yeah, Thomas, I was like, Thomas had a stroke. Sorry, dang cat on the keyboard. Them cats, man, they'll get you, right? They'll get you. All right, we have caught mostly up in chat, so I'll come back to anything else, but drop some more comments and questions. We'll start rounding out our time here. I will need to get off right about when we're, the hour mark here. But reminders for you. Again, our next scheduled live stream, I don't have any cue cards ready for you because I've been in Auburn busy all week, is going to be tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, for our preview and prediction show for the Oklahoma game. Join us. It's interactive. We'll go through not just giving our score predictions, but like scenario predictions, give you a little information about the matchup, help you have a better, more informed decision. I will be in Auburn, shocker, again, even though I'm not that far away from it right now, and I've been there all week, for more coverage from campus all weekend. So stay tuned for that. Rain or shine, I will be there and prove that I can make it through sickness as well this last time around. Also, we'll have equestrian volleyball on Friday, the Paul Feinbaum show. I'll probably make an appearance at, just to kind of maybe wave in the background or take a picture of or something like that. So be looking for that. That was a very interesting noise that I just heard over there. And so now I'm a little worried what that was. Other than that, there's going to be plenty. Tiger Walk live, post-game show live, and the Auburn Experience live recording may happen from campus again this week. If y'all enjoyed that, we will have a much better, I shouldn't say much better, but we'll be able to use my mic, which is probably a little bit better quality for outside, because I actually have the cord that I need now that broke that day, which is just lovely. So lots to look forward to on this final game of the 5-game homestand. And then Kyle goes home and Kyle goes to sleep for a while. Okay, final comments and questions here. Justin says, if we can control the clock on the offense and hold on the ball, and on defense, we don't let them make long pass plays, pressure the quarterback, we'll have a chance. Seems well-rounded. Find nothing there that I disagree with. David, it's not Auburn related, so I don't really have a take on that, but it does sound like kind of similar to the discussions that we were just having. The hurricane prediction party, that's funny. It basically will be, right? Oh, Thomas with the super chat. Thank you, sir, for your support of what we do here. Very much appreciated. The campus show on Sunday was really cool. I liked it. You just have to sit on the right side. It was disconcerting seeing Austin on the left. If in that scenario I sat on the right, it would be even more disconcerting. Just think about heights and levels, and the shot would have to be at an angle. So that will probably, if we do that again for that same location, it'll be, and that's not guaranteed, folks, that we will do that. We have had discussions about it. Depends on Austin and my schedule. But if the weather cooperates as well, we would like to do that again. What I'm going to tell you all is this, and I'll probably be talking to our Conquer Club members behind the scenes a little bit more about this. There's having an idea, and then there's having action behind that idea. And if you've been here a while, you know I'm a big idea guy. Sometimes it never comes to fruition. There's been a big idea happening with some action behind it for a very special episode coming up very soon for the Auburn Experience podcast. I will leave it at that. Had conversations with multiple people and entities. Let's just leave it there. I remember when Ivan hit the week of the LSU game. Wasn't it always like the LSU week it happened? Something weird like that. I mean, I am not going to Athens this year. Not the way the team's performing, and not with the understanding of what I've been. Look, I've loved being in Auburn for the last 5 weekends, but I am ready to go home and stay home for a while. So even though it's close to me, and now if somebody wants to give me a ticket, that could change my mind, but that ain't happening probably. You got invited, and he will be there. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you. I do miss the LSU Auburn matchup, but what we gained in being able to rotate more through these other teams, in my opinion, and this may be controversial, is so much better. I do miss it, though. All right, final questions, final comments, final derogatory rebuttals. Get them in now, get them in fast, get them in while they're hot. If you got anything last minute you want to say, I will point this out, and this isn't, it is in a way to say I told you so, not to any of you here, but unless they popped in and got scared in the background. You know, the TikTok live streams that we do most middays, they're a rare breed of people over there. Dalton knows. Some of y'all that have been over there know. They like to act a fool, and you kind of have to match their energy a lot of times, so it can get a little contesty over there. We had somebody say they were going to take me to task on Hugh Freeze in his background and call in this week, and I told them once again how many times I've had someone say they were going to call in, and they won't. Show is gone. Nobody called in to do that. So let the record show. I'm 100%. I'm 99% on that. We had Micah, who's become one of the good Bama fans out there, call in. What? I like the rotation of the games. You agree with me on that? Okay. Funny that the flagship show had the fancy remote show, and AFN gets a screen with a flag. In all seriousness, I had planned to go live from campus tonight. Have y'all seen the weather? Did y'all see what we tweeted out today? Like, it cleared up a little by the time I left, but there was no way that was going to work out tonight. I would have loved to have done it again for you guys, just myself, but yeah, it wasn't going to work out. Kyle, I will never forget the ridicule AU fans got in 2010 over Cam. My goodness, I saw the worst in people. Well, you're seeing it again, but for several years now. So, folks, all that to say, just be good people. Just be kind. Just because you have the right to say something doesn't mean it's the right thing to say. I think the right doesn't mean it's the right. Put it on a t-shirt. It's probably a better way to phrase that, but just your right doesn't mean it's right. To say these things, to behave this way. You may think there are no consequences for it, and it may make you feel better, but just be good people, be good humans, be good representatives of the Auburn family. And the majority of you that are here are definitely in that category. And we appreciate you being part of our little family within our Auburn family. Once again, thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding as we continue to navigate all the different things that we've been doing over these last 5 weeks. And I look forward to being back again with you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, for our preview and prediction show. Until then, War Eagle.